The Royal Champion Charge is back and it's stronger than ever. Using the new Electro boots and invisibility spells, you can push through any base. So let's give you the ultimate guide to using and mastering the Royal Champion Charge. First things first, what is a Royal Champion Charge? Well, this is when you send in the Royal Champion with or without the Spirit Fox to charge deep into the base using invisibility spells to keep her safe. While it's most effective at Town Hall 16 and Town Hall 17 with the Spirit Fox, it's also viable from Town Hall 13 to Town Hall 15 if you chain invisibility spells perfectly. We'll dive more into the mechanics later, but for now, what's the best level for your Royal Champion to use this method? If you're thinking about running the Royal Champion Charge, your Royal Champion's level is crucial, as her DPS is the key metric to look out for. So here is the minimum level required for each Town Hall's Royal Champion to execute this strategy effectively. But outside of that, what is the best equipment and pet combo for the Royal Champion Charge? Now this charge wouldn't be possible without using the new Electro boots. This ability grants your Royal Champion an always active Electro aura, like the Electro Titan, around her. This spans 5 tiles and will do damage every second, even if she's invisible. This will let her deal with skeleton traps, CC troops, and even defenses very easily. Its minimum level will mostly be level 15, as it already gives a huge 200 DPS to the aura, making it more significant at this level to start charging with it. Now, you have 3 different choices to pair with the Electro boots, but will depend on how you use your Royal Champion Charge within your army. The Haste Vial is the strongest option if you are looking to keep your Royal Champion in the base and let her get as much value before she falls. This lets you have a huge boost in damage, which can clear plenty of defenses. The Hog Rider puppets are another solid choice to pair with the Electro boots, especially if you are using a recall with your Royal Champion Charge. This helps you position her on the back end to help clear out defenses while granting her more HP and more healing, in addition with Hog Rider spawns to support her, and even a 1-second invisibility to help your Royal Champion. The Spear can also work, but is rather niche, as you need to pair this with a recall spell, a rage, and if possible, 1 to 2 earthquake spells. This is a pretty strong equipment to run against tougher defenses on the back end of the base, like the ricochet cannons or the monolith. It's still a rather niche option over other choices. When it comes to pets though, this will likely depend on your Town Hall level. So here is a list of the best pets at each Town Hall level that you can use with the Royal Champion Charge, and some alternatives that you can use as well. But now that we have the best build and level for our Royal Champion, let's talk more about the spells you'll need to use. Since this charge is so tied to spells, let's talk about them. Starting with the most important of them all, the invisibility spells. This spell is needed to even have the charge function in the first place, as it will keep your Royal Champion protected from any damage. We'll break down its timing with the Royal Champion Charge later, but how the invisibility spells work is that they last for 4 seconds with a half-second transition period. During this time, defenses cannot target you until another half-second later. This lets you time it with the Spirit Fox or chain it with other invisibility spells. Outside of that, rage spells can also be used within your Royal Champion Charge, as it will help you get more value while speeding her up. Recall is another decent spell that you can use in case you're running the Royal Champion Charge to funnel, while also saving her for the back end of the base. This can help you set up using Hog Rider puppets or even the Rocket Spear to get great value. Now we can break down how to use the Royal Champion Charge regardless of your Town Hall level. With the basics covered, let's break down how you can use the Royal Champion charge by focusing on the timing of both invisibility spells and the Spirit Fox. For starters, if you're using the Royal Champion charge without the Spirit Fox, you will be locked to chaining your invisibility spells one after another. So in this case, we're going to start with our Royal Champion, and she's just going to go ahead and take out some defenses. We don't need to use any invisibility spells, but once we need to, we're going to drop it down. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to drop another invisibility. Pretty much you're going to continuously do this as you work yourself around. Don't worry about turning certain defenses like an air defense invisible. She will be able to damage it with the Electro boots. Otherwise, you're just going to keep up this timing, so every time it starts to fade out, you're going to use another invisibility, and you're going to keep going with this. Try to proactively place it further ahead of your Royal Champion without turning massive amounts of defenses invisible, so that way you can get plenty of great value. And then afterwards, you can just kind of let her die, or you can use a recall spell and get her out of there. However, for Town Hall 16 and Town Hall 17 players, the timing is more refined with the use of invisibility spells and the Spirit Fox. Now in this case, once you place down the Royal Champion, she will be invisible thanks to the Spirit Fox. So we're going to time it 1, 2, 3, 4, drop an invisibility. This is going to allow us to keep it protected, especially since the Spirit Fox has a 6-second cooldown. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, dropping another invisibility. This is going to allow us to get great value as we move around. So here we got another invisibility from the Fox. So 2, 3, 4, drop an invisibility. This is going to allow us to keep moving around. We do take a bit of damage, but that's fine. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, drop another invisibility. In this case, we do lose our Fox, but that's completely fine because we've gotten a lot of great value, and we have the Haste that can speed us up and doing a ton of damage while having the Electro boots, so we don't really need to worry about the defenses that are already covered by the invisibility. But this should give you a good amount of understanding when it comes to the timing of both the Spirit Fox and the invisibility spells. Let's start with the Haste Vial in our Royal Champion charge. This way, what we're able to do is get additional defenses off the base. So while we're using the Royal Champion charge here, we want to make sure that we are using the invisibility spells in between each of our Spirit Fox's invisibilities. That way, we're able to get plenty of great value. If you notice, I'm using it over defenses a little bit just in order to keep our Royal Champion from not targeting those defenses. It is fine if you do overlap those defenses, as the Electro boots will continuously do damage to them, but just keep in mind that you want to make sure that you're able to get as much off the base. Now, if your Spirit Fox does unfortunately die, you can run a bunch of invisibilities and just chain them to keep your Royal Champion invisible and doing damage to surrounding buildings. Other than this, this can get you insane value with the Haste and can actually set your attack up. For instance, a Lava Loon, where you can use your heroes to dive in and get a ton of great value before using the Lava Loon to clear the back end of the base for a pretty strong 3-star. Now, another good way that you can run it is with the Hog Puppets, and of course, one great way to see it is from a Town Hall 14 perspective. Notice how we don't have the Spirit Fox, so we're using our invisibility spells and just chaining them at this point. We can use a Rage spell in order to clear through the Town Hall like we are in this case, but what we're going to do is we're using a mini Royal Champion charge just for funneling, where we can then recall her out. This allows us to run a strategy like Electro Titans, where we can have the Queen and the Golem to clear out the other side of our funnel, and it makes things so much easier for us to create really good pathing. This allows us to have our Titans moving in with our Royal Champion more on the back end later on in the attack, where we have things like maybe invisibility spells to provide, but otherwise we can just let her kind of move around. She doesn't have to worry about skeleton traps, and she has the Hog Rider puppets to add DPS. This also gives her even more healing and more HP, so it's always really nice, but otherwise it's a fantastic way that you can help your Royal Champion and your attack on the back end with the Hog Rider puppets and the recall after your Royal Champion charge. So what if you're running the Rocket Spear with the Royal Champion Charge? Well, you can use it in strategies like Root Rider spam, where you will want to bring in another Rage, Earthquake, and Recall. This allows you to get value from your Royal Champion Charge, where she can push through different defenses, but once your Royal Champion Charge is over, you're going to recall her, and that's really when you can kind of set up the rest of your attack. Think of the Royal Champion Charge in this case as a bit of a funnel for your Root Riders and Valkyries to push through the rest of the base. This allows you to use a Rage, 2 Earthquake spells, and of course your recalled Royal Champion on the back end. This is going to use an immediate ability, and that way you can clear through a lot of these tougher defenses like the Multi-Archer Tower and the Monolith. This allows you to get some pretty solid value and control paddling just a little bit, but then she can actually work in with the rest of your army. So this is a very strong method, but might not work in a lot of different situations due to the huge spell investment that you are doing with this Royal Champion Charge. This should give you a good idea of why this Royal Champion Charge is so strong. However, if you prefer to use a Queen Charge, I have an entire guide on it right here that you should be checking out.